Premier League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Some are pretty straightforward. Arsenal are the Gunners because they were founded by a group of munitions workers, and Bournemouth are the Cherries because their old stadium was built right next to a cherry orchard. Then there's Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were two local toffee shops. Ipswich Town nicked their nickname off their opponents in the late 90s, Birmingham. The term Tractor Boys was chanted as a way to tease the team about their farming background, but they started using it themselves as a way to cheer on the team in victory instead. Take that, Birmingham. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire's also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Crystal Palace's nickname came from an extreme makeover. They were having a nightmare run in the 70s, and when they were relegated, their manager, Malcolm Allison, wasn't having it. I know what'll make us better, he thought, a new nickname. The Strong and Deadly Eagle sounded like a pretty good bet. And there's more to that story. Brighton used Palace's nickname to inspire their own. Ooh, bird, they thought. Let's just pick a different one for us. And so, in a heated match between the two teams back in 1976, when Palace fans began chanting "Eagles, Eagles," Brighton fans had the perfect reply: "Seagulls, Seagulls." So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
The Premier League is back. That's right, the Premier League is back. Thank God. The ebb, the flow, the jeopardy, the passion and the pain of Premier League football is back in our veins. And my God, we have missed it. All of the optimism and enthusiasm that basically exists in every single football fan at the beginning of a season has been well and truly dashed for some. West Ham United utterly trounced and embarrassed, losing 3-0 to Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. West Ham are going down. Tra-la-la-la-la. This is definitely the way that it's shaping up. If West Ham do continue with Graham Potter, are they going to persevere with their manager? Has a manager ever looked more out of his depth than Graham Potter at West Ham United? There was also a massive win for Tottenham at White Hart Lane. They have annoyingly got it right with Thomas Frank, haven't they? Burnley looked incredibly ordinary, and it really does look like they have a long season ahead. Newcastle drew 0-0 with Aston Villa, a game that they would have undoubtedly won if Alexander Isak was available. Brighton drew 1-1 with Fulham, and Manchester City have just blown Wolverhampton Wanderers away. Remember, we are now live on YouTube and also on your smart TV, so come and see us in our brilliant new studio in full HD. But now it's all about you. It's all about your opinion, so give us a call. 03717 223344 to air your views to the nation on the Rory Jennings phone-in show on talkSPORT. Well, the football is back. I am delighted to say that Premier League football is back, and how refreshing was it to see a promoted side come up into the Premier League, go for the jugular against established Premier League opposition and get the job done. Sunderland, absolutely fantastic. They blew West Ham apart. They were fantastic. They were sensational, and they were well deserving of their victory. The Stadium of Light was rocking. That tifo, I don't know if you've seen it, but there was an incredibly well-designed and aggressive tifo, and Sunderland fans, I'm sure, are on cloud 9. Let me get confirmation on that by speaking to James, a Sunderland fan. James, sir, you are live on talkSPORT. How was it in the Stadium of Light today?
We are the Sunderland. Come on. Absolutely unbelievable. We're going to win the league. Unbelievable.
Mate, it was like, did you expect this to happen? Like, look, Regis Labrie undoubtedly done a really good job. You got promoted. You did very well to make that happen. Some would say that you were promoted almost a year too soon. But did you expect it to go this well?
Yeah.
Did you expect to beat West Ham today when you were going into that fixture?
Not quite as well as we did, but I did expect us to do well. I expect us to do even better now. Now we're saying that because some of them players just look. Fact is, the three players that scored were players that were there last season. So
yeah, well, do you know? I heard Reggie Slibbery talking, and he's sort of using this result as a way of urging caution among Sunderland fans. You know, saying that can't get carried away, and all of the things that he should say. Genuinely, do you think now that you're going to survive?
He has to say that, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
he has to.
Yeah, I think we will. Like I thought before the match that we've got a chance of surviving, and then now I think we don't even need to worry about that. Obviously, I'm not getting too carried away. I don't think we're actually going to win the league, but we are probably going to stay up. I would say, like we've got some tough games. Obviously, it's the Premier League, however.
Yeah. Well, I saw Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka at the end was talking about how important it is for this Sunderland team to stay humble and remember, it's going to be a long, arduous season. Do you feel that was, on some metric, you could say that Granit Xhaka was one of the signings of the summer, don't you think?
I think he's definitely one of the signings of the summer. I think I heard you say that before, Rory, that you thought he was possibly, when we look back at this transfer window, that he possibly might be the signing of the summer, like over all the teams. Not the best player in the league, obviously, but
no, for what he brings, he's given up. If you've got to remember what Granit Xhaka represents, he's left Champions League football. He's left Erik ten Hag. He was integral to everything that Xabi Alonso did in that historic Leverkusen team, and he's walked away from Champions League football to be part of this new dawning of Sunderland. He could be integral.
Yeah, he must.
Yeah, amazing.
Yep, sorry.
No, I was going to say, do you think it was a good idea to give him the captaincy? Did you like the idea of sort of stripping the captaincy to give it to Granit Xhaka?
Yeah, because he's going to play every game and he's got that experience and the influence on the younger players. But I don't see a problem because he's going to be a captain. He's a leader.
No, it was an amazing result. James, just a word before you go. Obviously, for Sunderland, it was amazing. How bad were West Ham United?
Yeah. We were bad, but we just made them look bad because we're absolutely fantastic.
And fair play. You did do incredibly well. It's great to speak to you, James. Thank you so much for giving me a call.
Yeah, no bother. Cheers,
all the best. Good luck for the season. I do hope that Sunderland survive, and the performance that they've put in today, they have given themselves a platform to genuinely believe. We're going to stay with the phone lines now. Make sure that you give me a ring, 03717 223344. You call that number and you could be talking to me any moment now on talkSPORT, just as Dan did. Dan, the Tottenham fan. How are you, mate? You're live on talkSPORT.
Yeah, how are you? Are you well?
Yeah, I mean, I am very well, but you've got to be over the moon with what you saw today.
Ecstatic. Today, sort of from front to back. I mean, it's the first sort of 10 minutes. We sort of come out of the blocks a little bit lively. Richarlison looked like he was playing like Ronaldinho.
I mean, and what a goal!
I mean, Richie was outstanding today. It was really good. I just wondering where he's been for the past sort of 3 seasons. He was great. I mean, Kudus as well was excellent. Didn't sort of stop running. I think we got a bargain from West Ham, to be honest with you. And even sort of with like the back and the way we sort of lined up, Archie Gray was fantastic. Mickey van der Ven, no one was beating him in a race. Carl Walker lost his leg, so he's not going that much further. But yeah, overall today, I know it was Burnley. Don't mean that in any sort of bad way towards Burnley or Burnley fans, but yeah, it was. We just sort of take one game at a time, and yeah,
I just can't believe it when you think about the kind of player that Richarlison looked under Postecoglou. Like it felt like Postecoglou never really trusted him. Suddenly, you look at the performance from Richarlison. You look at the goal that he scored, the acrobatics. He's a man. He's a man sort of with the
I don't know where that come from. I stood up. I couldn't believe it. I was like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. I think there's going to be competitions for Dom Solanke now. Richie plays like that. Dom's not going to get that much of a look in, and if he is playing like that.
Well, this is the thing, Dan. Do you know what? I've just looked it up. Richarlison, you know that he's been around for a long time. You can remember him at Everton. You can remember him at Watford. It feels like he's been in the Premier League for a long time. He's only 28.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I thought he was older than that.
He's only 28, but he hasn't really hit the heights that you expected when he signed for you about 3 years ago now. This could be it, though. This could be the moment, you know. Like, this could be his season. Is there a chance that he displaces Solanke from the starting lineup properly?
To be honest, if he plays like that, I would. You know, why would you not start him every game? But yeah, hopefully there's going to be a lot of competition. By the look of it, Eze looks like that's kind of done by the look of it. So yeah, if that's over the line, there's going to be a lot of competition, and we're going to need going into the Champions League. We're going to need like strong rotation going forward. So yeah, there's going to be like places to fight for. The promise started from the other night. Yes, we lined up defensively against PSG, but it's just the organisation being able to defend the set piece, being able to like actually go and attack and look like threatening from a set piece.
No, Dan, you're completely correct. Do you know what? I get a lot of stick from Tottenham fans because I give a lot of stick to Tottenham fans. But what happened? What happened the other night? I thought that you were brilliant. I know that it all went wrong, and you could start talking about the ideology of Spursism and whatever else. But for 70 minutes, you were sensational.
They're the best team in the world.
Yeah, you were playing that attack. You know those four attackers: Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, Doué, whatever.
Barcola was excellent. He's got something special. He was really good.
Target for 70 minutes.
I know.
It was a great setup, and I think that Thomas Frank is doing a good job. Annoyingly, Dan, I think that Daniel Levy has got this right. In fact, I would go so far as saying I know that he won't be your favourite person, but everything that Daniel Levy has done since you won in Bilbao, I think he's got it right. I think getting rid of Postecoglou was the right decision.
From what I understand, it's Vinay now that's taken the front seat, and Daniel's more like the financial side.
Right. Well, you can see it happening. It's working.
Yeah, maybe the shifting change is what we needed.
Maybe. It's great to talk to you, Dan. Thank you so much for giving me a call. We are now going to go over to speak to Gaz, a Manchester City fan who has just watched his team annihilate Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux. What a start to the season, Gaz.
How are you doing, Rory? Lads, you okay?
Yeah, very well, very well. I mean, that's taken me slightly by surprise. I didn't realise that Manchester City were going to be as devastating as this. I didn't realise that Shirky was going to be a duck to water. I mean, you look at the goal from Reinders. It's the new boys that are setting the tone and setting the tempo.
Well, I'm not being funny, Rory. Part of my call is that a lot of pundits, you included, have given City no chance this year.
Yeah.
Now, when we signed Reinders and Cherky, and especially Nora, because we needed him, we definitely needed him. He's a brilliant signing. But do you know what? I watched him in the Club World Cup, and you could see glimpses then. But everyone's going on about, it's got to be Arsenal's turn, or they've been finished second twice, or Liverpool do it because they've signed this, that and the other. You lot have signed great signings as well, young players as well. But I don't think that City have been given the respect that they should do. Do you know what? They've won 6 out of 7 titles. They won 4 on the trot, and we had a real bad season last year with an aging team. And I was watching him today, Rory, and I swear down, maybe 10 minutes in the first half and 10 minutes in the second half, Wolves was trying to get on top. But apart from that, it was easy. And it doesn't matter who you play. People could say, you're only playing Wolves.
No.
You're playing Wolves away. And I've been to Wolves away. And do you know what? Them fans are loud.
Yeah, no, they're good support. Really good support.
Yeah,
look, and it went about as perfect as it could for you. It was totally dominant. You got the new boys on the score sheet. You got Erling Haaland scoring 2 goals. That is exactly what Pep Guardiola would have wanted. Exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, I didn't expect us to be. I didn't think it'd be that easy today. It could have been more, to be truthful. But
yeah,
I mean, that Reinders.
I mean, it's amazing.
Reinders is. But I'll tell you what, he ran the show today.
Completely.
He did, and his goal, his pass for him, Haaland's goal, and then his goal he scored after that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's amazing, and you think that he's come in effectively as a replacement for Kevin De Bruyne. I think anybody that was slightly cynical about Manchester City's chances this season, me included, it was based on effectively the respect that we were putting on Kevin De Bruyne's name. You know, you think it's a new iteration, it's Pep Guardiola 4.0, surely they're not going to be able to go again. The fact that you lost 9 out of 11 feels fresh in the memory last season, and it felt a little bit beyond you. But everything that I saw today, everything that I saw Manchester City do, it was electrifying.
It's like you just said, though, Rory. He was brought in to replace De Bruyne. De Bruyne has got no legs. He had to go. I mean, there's a couple more at City who I think will go at the end of the season. Sorry, before the the transfer window.
Yeah.
I think Kovacic might go, because I don't know about Gundo. I mean, Gundo might go. But I was watching Reinders in the first half today, and I said to my daughter when I was watching it, I said, you know what? This is how Kevin started out. You could see, his passing and his vision and all that. And you know what? He's going to be absolutely brilliant.
No, I don't disagree with you. I really don't disagree with you.
And you know what? I do feel like people don't realise how hard you've won titles. We've won titles, but it's how hard it is to win 2 on the trot. And everyone's just going, oh, Liverpool will do it because they've signed this, that and the other. And,
No, Gaz, I'm with you. I think it was an amazing performance from Manchester City today.
Yeah,
it was about the perfect.
City will be hurt after last season, and they're going to come back with a vengeance this season. Yeah. And it won't be a walkover because no one really performed last season apart from Liverpool.
Yeah, so, I completely agree, Gaz. Gaz, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your call. Incredible stuff there from Manchester City. Make sure that you get your calls in 03717 223344. I could be talking to you next on the Rory Jennings phone-in show on talkSPORT.
Craig Pawson looks at his watch, blows his whistle, and the games begin. And they fed the ball through, and it's taken down Gordon, and Konsa's going to be sent off. He's denied a goal-scoring opportunity, and usually there's loads of goals between these two. Usually the home team dominates, but not today.
They've lifted the roof off at the Stadium of Light, Mickey Gray.
Sunderland 1, West Ham 0. Eliza Mayenda with the header.
Tottenham 2, Burnley 0. Troy Deeney is up on his feet applauding his former teammate Richarlison. It is a brilliant overhead kick. Bang. What a finish.
And a chance here for Sunderland, and they've doubled the lead as it comes into the area. Know how good Dan Bollard is in the air, and he just leaps above everybody, guides it into the corner.
Rapidly turning into a route. Brennan Johnson through the legs of the goalkeeper and into the bottom corner. Welcome back to the Premier League. Burnley and Scott Parker. Tottenham 3, Burnley 0.
Sunderland 3, West Ham 0. And it's Isidore with the third goal. My goodness, as opening day's goal, they don't get any better than this.
This corner for Fulham will surely be their last chance.
Oh!
It's been wrapped in! Oh, goodness gracious me! Benitez has done it! Brighton 1, Fulham 1.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? The football is back, the Premier League is back, and I am over the moon. This is the Rory Jennings phone-in show on talkSPORT, and that is how Saturday sounded on talkSPORT. We're going to go straight back to the phone lines now, and we're going to speak to Dan, the Newcastle fan. How are you, Dan?
All right, Rory, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not doing too badly. How are you?
I'm all right. Last thing I want to be doing is ringing up about... I just want to be saying, like, Newcastle are doing class and that today. A bunch of lads who really want to play for the shirt and stuff like that, but... At the end of the match, I don't know whether it's been released on the media and stuff like that, but everyone's singing. There's only one greedy such and such.
Yeah.
Regarding
Alexander Isak, of course.
Yeah, and I don't know. We just need rid of him. Like, we need rid of him. Like, nobody at that club wants him anymore. Like, he's made his bed. And, like, everyone's saying, oh, if they lose him, we want rid of him. Like, we want rid of him.
The problem is, I think
it's
got to the stage now where, of course, you do want rid of him, but you played well today. Eddie Howe did a brilliant job today, and you would have won the game if he played, and you haven't signed anyone else to play in that position. So it's all very well saying you want him out, and I totally concede that you should. I understand why you would want that. It's an honour to represent Newcastle when he doesn't want to do it. So don't let the door hit you on the way out. I understand why that would be your mentality. But ultimately, you would have won a game today if you had a forward. So he's the only forward that you can play there.
That's what I'm saying. If we had a forward, if we got rid of him, we'd have a forward. We'd buy somebody. Everybody's saying saying we can't do this, we can't do that. There's plenty of forwards out there that would put goals in the back of the net. We've got people who put them on a plate for them, man. And that guy's just holding everything up. All the talk is about him. We played mint today, like a shout out to the lads, like they were absolutely class, like. But you've got this guy who's just, I don't know what his problem is, like we've made that guy, like we have actually made that guy. I mean, like I know. I mean,
he did cost a lot of money when he signed. You didn't. He hasn't come through. You spent a lot of money on him, and yet you've given him a platform, and he's certainly elevated. But he was a very good player when you signed him as well.
Oh, we've got our money back for him, basically, like, but we need a blooming GoFundMe page to get him to Liverpool or Saudi Arabia or something, honestly, like, we just need rid of him, like.
Yeah. Do you put any blame? It's interesting, Dan. Do you put any blame at all on your board, your ownership, whoever, Al Ramian, whoever you believe is responsible for the fact that nobody in Isak's position has arrived? You've missed out on João Pedro. He's not a centre-forward that's going to be playing for Newcastle, and if he was, maybe you would have got Isak off the books already. Liam Delap you missed out on. And if he was already at Newcastle, maybe you would have got rid of Isak. Ekitike, it looked like he was going to be a Newcastle player and then you missed out on him. Do you hold your board responsible for this? Like, what's going on?
No, it's just when we aren't, like, you've got to be real. Like, we aren't at that level yet. Every single person that we've competed for, the clubs we've been competing for are bigger clubs than us. We're realists. We know that. Like, you talk about people going somewhere for money. It's not just for money. It's social media and stuff. They're getting money off that. They get more following playing for like the likes of Man United and stuff. So I get all that. It's not like the board have sat there doing nothing. They're putting bids in for people, and eventually we will get our man. I guarantee we will get our man.
Mm. What do you think is going to happen here? How's this going to play out? Is Alexander Isak going to leave this window? Is there anything that you think is there any truth in this? Almost on principle, whether you want him to play for your club again or not, on principle you shouldn't allow him to leave.
We shouldn't allow him to leave, but like we have to. We need a striker in. I mean, like the PSR thing, obviously, like they were singing about that today as well. But it restricts us. We need to get rid of him. I know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to get to the end of the month, by the end of the window, we're going to sell him on the last day, and then we're going to have need more time to bring anybody else in. Like,
the problem is as well now, because effectively it looks like Liverpool are the only club who are interested. Liverpool, you're kind of bidding. Liverpool are only bidding against themselves. This bidding war hasn't ever arrived. Liverpool hold a lot of cards here because they now know that you need rid of him. You've called up talkSPORT and you said that he's a distracting presence and you can't wait to get him off your books. That puts a lot of power on the buyer's side rather than the seller's side, doesn't it? Everybody now knows that Alexander Isak is a commodity that Newcastle United no longer want.
And like the other night when Ekatike scored, last night Ekatike scored, I just thought, why that's going to be them. Like, they're going to think, oh, we've got to strike out and do the job. That's going to be them pulling out as well. Do you know what I mean? He was like a what if kind of player. They don't really know, but he did a job last night, and they'll just be thinking, well, why are we going to spend that much money on him? Yeah. So I think we're literally banking on Saudi Arabia, like a club in Saudi Arabia or something. And I don't even think it's going to happen. Like, because he cannot play for Newcastle again. Like,
now, is it totally gone with the fans? Is it like totally the bridge is burnt and there is no way to come back from it?
100%. Like, I mean, the fans singing is. I mean, away fans they are the bread and butter of a club. They are the loyal fans, and their opinion is the one that matters the most, really.
Completely.
And for them to be singing at the end, that them chants, like I say, I won't say the chants exactly, but singing them chants, the guy kind of come on the pitch and pull a Newcastle shirt on again, like at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great call, Dan. It really is. I appreciate you shedding some light on it as well. A very difficult time for Newcastle because Eddie Howe is doing some wonderful things there, but ultimately there is this saga, this protracted, drawn-out saga that is causing a major shadow over the club. Right, now, over on our sister station, talkSPORT 2, there's live boxing from Saudi Arabia with some huge fights, including Nick Ball, David Adelaide, Raymond Ford and Philip Hergovich, all in action. And that's followed by unbeaten Moses Itoma taking on Dillian White in a heavyweight showdown live on talkSPORT from 9 p.m. Make sure that you give me a ring, 03717 223344. I want to hear what you have to say about any game that you want to talk about live on talkSPORT.
Bazball, a sporting catchphrase that's really caught on after England's Test cricketers changed their approach under Kiwi coach Brendan McCullum. But what is Bazball really, and is it working? We've had a look. A lot of people think Bazball's just aggressive batting. That is part of it. This tactic peaked in Rawalpindi in 2023, where over 2 innings, England scored 921 runs at a rate of 7 and over, giving the Bazballers just enough time to bowl Pakistan out twice on a flat pitch, which they did. Now, England's increased run rate does reflect the global trend, but they are the fastest scoring Test team of all time, around 4.5 runs and over. This guy thinks calling it Bazball is silly, explaining he's trying to remove pressure and make Test cricket fun. This is actually a response to something shocking. McCullum developed his method as captain of New Zealand in 2014 when Australian batter Philip Hughes was hit by a ball and died. A mental skills coach from All Blacks Rugby helped the cricketers play through the tragedy, telling them to be totally self-absorbed for one match. It worked. New Zealand levelled the series in Pakistan. McCullum hit the 4th fastest Test double hundred of all time. He found playing without the usual expectations freed the team up to express their skills, and that is what he's trying to do with England. It's a mindset thing. The team really look like they're enjoying themselves. Bucket hats, e-scooters, optional practice, 6 hitting competitions, games of football, and a lot of time on the golf course. What's not to love? Meanwhile, the really radical bit of Bazball is selection. 19-year-old off-spinner Shoaib Bashir was picked off Twitter, couldn't get a game for Somerset, but was the 3rd leading Test wicket taker of 2024. Seamer Josh Hull was called up after just 9 county games because he's left arm and 6'7". Jacob Bethel, 0 first-class hundreds. Let's throw him in at number 3. But is the cricket improving? In the 35 tests before Baz, England won 12, lost 13 and drew 10. And the first 35 tests with Baz, England won 22, almost double, lost 12, about the same, and drew just 1. On the flip side, the new approach has meant throwing games away from strong positions, like the second Ashes test at Lords in 2023. But overall, yeah, by almost any metric, England are better under Baz.
Hello and welcome to the Rory Jennings show on talkSPORT. Manchester City were marvellous. Sunderland were unstoppable. Tottenham got pretty much everything right. And West Ham were abysmal. And that is what I want to talk about now. I think we need to really focus on what has gone on at West Ham. Graham Potter in the job there still off the back of a fairly pitiful and uninspiring time of it last season. He's got off to the worst possible start today. Absolutely woeful from West Ham, and that club look like they are in the doldrums. Make sure that you give me a ring, 03 717 223344. I really do want to hear from you. We're going to go straight back to the phone lines now. We're going to talk to the West Ham United fan, Barry. How are you, Barry?
Oh, yeah, all right, Rory. Yes, well, I'll say I'm all right. I'm normally optimistic, mate, but...
I mean, I'm surprised at quite how badly it's gone. To be totally honest with you, Barry, I tipped West Ham to go down. They were in my predicted table bottom 3, but I didn't necessarily expect them to get beat.
I keep hearing you say it, and I thought, no, we'll be all right. But what's happened with our transfer system? It's madness.
Yeah,
Don't you reckon?
I know. Well, do you know what? I think when you talk about the best signings, I think we always do that, don't we? During the transfer window, we always focus on the best signing of the summer. And on some level, you go, maybe Florian Wirtz, maybe Gyökeres at Arsenal, because you talk about the glamour and what they're going to bring. Then you could start talking about it and using the metric of kind of value, pound for pound. Granit Xhaka at Sunderland sounds like a great signing. Exactly. In terms of the worst signing, which isn't a game that we play as often because it feels quite unkind, I think Callum Wilson is about as bad a signing as anyone has made this season.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, because the injury problems and what have you. But what I done with my sons and daughters, we made a list up who we thought we should sign, or who we will probably sign, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now, none of them have come true apart from Callum Wilson, right? And I put him in there as a possible backup, yeah?
Mm.
Now, I was looking at a load of young players, yeah? And none of it's come right. It's ridiculous. But it's got to come down to the board, I think, because the decisions they've made over the last few years have been really, really poor. I mean, I've supported West Ham since the 60s, and I've seen some really good sides. I've seen some, not so good sides, but last year is the worst side I've ever watched.
So is that who you put the blame down to? It's not so much a Graham Potter issue, but a David Sullivan issue?
I'm not enamoured by Potter, I'll be honest, but because he should have seen that at the end of last season. The last two games I saw, my God, I've never seen nothing. Well, my eldest son has never, ever left the game before the final whistle.
Yeah.
He said, Dad...
No, it doesn't make sense. There's so much going on. Like Sullivan's sort of friendship with that Will Salthouse seems to really have an impact on the players that you sign. Nothing makes sense. And I imagine that you were over the moon to see Mohamed Kudus playing so well for Tottenham.
Exactly. He's probably our only good signing with Paquetá, right, over the last few years, okay? Paquetá went through all his nonsense, which didn't help him. Fair play to the old boy. Hopefully he'll come good. Now, the rest of them, I couldn't believe how bad the signings were. We spent a fortune in one window, and none of them have been up to the job. I've never seen a back four or five or whatever you want to call it, three, as bad at West Ham in all my career watching football.
Yeah, Barry, really easy question, right? Are you going to stay up?
I'm very concerned that we're not going to after today. I'll be honest.
Do you know what? I don't think you're going to stay up, but it's ridiculous that it's come to this. It only feels like yesterday to me, the euphoria of West Ham winning that trophy, their first trophy since 1980 in Prague. It just feels like yesterday. What has gone wrong?
Right. That's the only thing they got right with Moisey. He did settle us, and it was sort of like in or out, in or out. I was a fan of Moisey. There's no doubt about it. He settled us. He won us a trophy. It was unbelievable night. But we did probably have to move on. Maybe we realise now it's a mistake because he's doing well at Everton. But it's all down to whoever is deciding who we sign. I'll be honest with you. Or how much money we spend. Yeah. We must have money. We fill our ground every week. We're there. 60,000 crowd.
No, it's not about that. It's whether you want to spend it. No, the money's there for sure. No, it's a disaster, Barry. It really does feel like an utter disaster. But that is a fantastic call there from Barry, and I really do appreciate him getting in touch. You too could be on talkSPORT. All you have to do is give me a ring, 03717 223344, just as Jordan did. Jordan, the Manchester City fan, is live on talkSPORT. You've got to be over the moon with what you've just witnessed at Molineux, Jordan. Jordan? No, we're going to go to Matthew instead. Matthew, sir, you are live on talkSPORT. Matthew, you're a West Ham fan, right?
Yeah, that's it, mate. Hello, you all right?
Yeah, very well. Were you listening to Barry just now?
Yeah, I agree with the majority of things he was saying, to be honest.
Yeah. What is... Can I just ask you, I know we're one game into the season. This is going to sound almost sensationalist, but I have to ask you the question. Do you think Graham Potter should be sacked?
No, I don't think he should be sacked now. I think give him a little bit of time. Like, we've seen what he has done before he was at Chelsea. He was at Brighton, and he done well with a club that didn't have that much money. But right now, I think he started halfway through last season.
Matthew, can I ask you a question? Sorry to interrupt you, mate, but I've just got to challenge that. How well did he really do at Brighton? Really? Like, however well we thought he did, that team had major issues. And the second that he left, De Zerbi had them doing far better. De Zerbi made them a far better team than Graham Potter ever did.
I completely agree with you, but Potter did get them from a stage where he did get them into Europe, didn't he? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt that he did okay, but the point is that De Zerbi took them on into a different level. Like, you know, they had all that trouble with their XG, trouble scoring goals. Yeah. Suddenly De Zerbi's in there, they're scoring goals for fun. They had goals galore coming out of that team.
Yeah.
Then he came to Chelsea, and he's in the conversation for sort of Chelsea's worst ever manager. If you do a conversation around Chelsea's worst ever manager, Like, I don't know, you start talking about Scolari and Ian Porterfield, you're gonna start. You're also gonna mention Graham Potter, like literally our worst ever manager. Like that's what we're talking about with Potter, and now he's gone into West Ham, and I just think the job's too big for him.
He did go when he was at Chelsea. I feel like he went to a team that had a bit of money and had a lot of money to play with, and I think Chelsea was way too big for him himself. I do think Potter is going to be a better manager than our last couple, apart from Moyes. I don't think we should have got rid of Moyes for a fact, anyway. Admittedly, the fans weren't happy with his boring football style of play, but at the end of the day, football's all about winning trophies, about winning games and getting us into a good position, and that's exactly what he done. But I don't think sack Potter right away. I think give him a little bit of time. But today, to be honest, was completely embarrassing. I went all the way down there myself, and it was just
mate, what was the atmosphere like? What was it like in the away end?
Don't get me wrong, it was before the goals went in. West Ham atmosphere is always good, but as soon as the first goal went in, it was diabolical, to be honest.
Were you going up there? You know, when you were on a train up there or driving up, were you expecting a win?
I was, yeah, 100%. I did think we planned, and while watching the game, I think the only player that actually puts an effort week in, week out is Bowen, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think the defensive problems have got to be changed. Like, look at our transfer market for an instant. We haven't signed anyone like better than you should have seen us last season. We haven't signed anyone way to sort out that defensive problem, and I don't think Kilman's the right man for the job to be in the middle of the partnership either.
What do you think of that Guido Rodriguez starting today? That just felt mental to me. Like, how's that not Potts, or at the very least Souček?
I completely agree with you there. I would have put either Potts in and I would have started Souček, 100%. Souček can actually get goals. Rodriguez, I don't think since he's joined for West Ham, I don't think he's been good enough, to be honest.
Yeah, I just can't see what the positive is with this. I really can't. And do you know, sometimes, even if, let's pretend that you're right, 100% right, and I'm 100% wrong. Graham Potter is a good manager. Like, I would argue that. I would debate that, and I probably wouldn't have it. But let's just, for a moment, you're correct and he's a good manager. There is such a thing, isn't there, as a manager that's a really good manager, but isn't necessarily a good manager at a particular club. Like Rafael Benitez was never going to work at Chelsea. Rafael Benitez was never going to work at Everton. Roy Hodgson was never a good manager for Liverpool. I kind of think that even if you are right and Potter is good, he doesn't chime with West Ham fans and the way West Ham fans want the game to be played. He doesn't know what the West Ham way is.
I completely agree with you there, to be honest. And I do think, I always believe in giving him a chance. You ain't going to know what the output's going to be. So he's obviously brought Potter in, giving him a chance. But I think if he gets to halfway through the season and he was like Lopetegui was, then he's going to be without a job again, 100%. But I think the way he started off this season, it's just terrible. He's got to be a lot better. And I don't think it's just the manager to blame, to be honest. I think the players have got to know a lot better as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting atmosphere at the next home game, that is for sure. Matthew, that is a fantastic call there, shedding a light on what is going on at West Ham United. It looks like, to me, from the outside looking in, that they are in big, big trouble this season. Do me a favour, get in touch. Give me a ring right now and you could be talking live on talkSPORT after this break. 03717 223344. This is the Rory Jennings phone-in show on talkSPORT. yes, indeed. The Premier League is back. It was a joy to see the football start last night with a huge win for Liverpool, and then it continued early this morning, didn't it? When Newcastle United got us underway, and it was just so enthralling to see football back. Genuinely over the moon. But there is so much to dissect with what's going on at Newcastle United at the moment, and we're going to go straight back to the phone lines and speak to Chris, a Newcastle fan who called 03717 223344. Make sure that you give me a ring. You could be live on talkSPORT next. Chris, how are you, sir?
Rory, you're a total knacker.
Define that one for me.
Well, I got up this morning, put my top on, put my fancy dress gear on.
No.
I don't know how they've give you a show, mate. I really don't.
Mate, I'm more surprised than you.
Well, the thing is, mate, you upset people. You're the Simon Cowell of talkSPORT.
Okay, I think I can live with that. But what happened today? Why did it go so wrong for you?
I don't want to talk today. I want to talk about how nasty you are to people.
Where was I nasty?
When you're calling people for wearing shirts.
Wait, you can wear a shirt, and I can have an opinion on you wearing a shirt, can't I?
No.
Well, I'm not allowed an opinion.
No.
Why not?
Not when it comes to me putting my tune top on.
I can have an opinion on adults wearing shirts, surely.
Not if you want to come on radio and start dogging people for it.
I can have an opinion on it. You can't tell me what I can talk about.
No, you can think that, but you don't have to get on radio and start saying it.
Oh, I'll give my opinion.
That's fine. Simon Cowell was doing on X Factor.
Yeah. Lots of people give opinion. That's generally what radio stations are. That's what football is. Football is an opportunity for people to flex their analytical muscle and talk about their opinions. That is the point of football. I don't understand why anybody would get precious about it, but if you do, of course, you give me a ring. 03717 223344, just as Chris, the Newcastle fan, did. We're going to stick with the phone calls from the North East and speak to Brandon, a Sunderland fan. How are you, Brandon?
Yes, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Amazing result for you.
Yeah, wonderful. Can you just do me a favour, first of all? Just make sure that last caller gets another phone call back to check on him and make sure how he's doing, because he sounds like he's struggling.
Yeah, no, he weren't happy with me, that's for sure. Weren't happy with me. I don't even know why. I just said that I just gave my opinion on a topic that he doesn't agree with, and he's furious.
Well, he's a joy.
Maybe he's taking out the Alexander Isak issue on me. I'm an innocent bystander. Firing shots at me. You've got to be over the moon with your stunning result against West Ham United.
Yes, I am, mate. It was absolutely wonderful. You know what it is? I just want to say, first of all, I think the main thing for me is I'm a realist as a Sunderland fan, and going into the day, I wasn't necessarily thinking we were going to win. I'd have actually probably been happy with a point, because I don't think that people understand the level between the Championship and the Premier League these days. It's very, very difficult. And a lot of Sunderland fans were very confident that not only were we going to win today, we were going to win comfortably. And I thought they were mental. And then I went into that game today, and I'm telling you now, you'll see it when you watch the game back. The goals that we scored, I don't actually think throughout the entire game there was one VAR check.
No. You were dominant. You were well deserving. You were excellent. There was no doubt about it. Like, you thumped West Ham. And do you know what? You saying that you were surprised that a lot of Sunderland fans were going into the game buoyant, expecting a victory. I thought you'd win today. I don't think it's surprising. I think that you've been really ambitious. I think that you've got a very good manager, incredibly ambitious owners, a great atmosphere. You saw the tifo that Sunderland organised, you were playing. You were very favourable. You were playing favourable opposition. It's not surprising that you won.
When you watch the goals, every single one of them goals, they were absolutely brilliant. They were wonderful goals. There was no controversy, no nothing. And like you said, we ran them off the park. And let's not forget as well, like you said, they won a European trophy a few years ago, and we just made them look like absolute fools.
No, I completely agree. What do you think for the season, though? Obviously, it's great to get the victory, and it's great to get the points under your hat early. But what do you think, realistically?
Do you know what it is, Rory? I think we've actually got quite an interesting start, because I think our first opening 5 games are all winnable games if you try to stay in the Premier League. And today is the best start possible. We go to Burnley next week, and I mean, we played them last year. We missed 2 penalties in the last minutes of the game. We battered them 90 minutes. I'm not concerned going into that one at all. Yeah. So, I mean, I think we're in a wonderful position moving forward. But yeah, I just wanted to say, the Sunderland fans today, that I've been going for the last 10 years, and straight up, it's been a disappointing place to go for the last 10 years. It's been quiet. It hasn't been great. And don't get me wrong, obviously there's been reasons behind that. The club's been falling apart. But today, it was absolutely unbelievable. Loud, red and white everywhere. He was talking about football shirts before. I'm telling you now, I've never seen as much red and white all over the stadium in my life, and it was incredible. Wonderful.
Yeah, no, mate, I'm glad because do you know what? I would love Sunderland to stay up. I think the Premier League is a better league having Sunderland in it. Sunderland contributes so much to the Premier League. You know, the big clubs, historic clubs, big support. I would just love Sunderland to stay up. Do you think you can?
Well, after the day, who's saying we're not going to stay up?
Who goes down instead of you, though? That's the question is not necessarily the points that you can accrue, because you can certainly do a job, but who goes down instead of you?
Well, that's just basically what I was saying on pause the other day. I mean, I think Leeds have got a half-decent chance of staying up as well, so we don't have to only drag one in, we have to drag two in. And I think those two teams could end up being Wolves and Everton, but after watching West Ham today, they could very much be up in there as well.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how it goes. But
mate, amazing call, Brandon. Great to talk to you. Thank you very much for getting in touch. We're now going to stay with the phone lines and we're going to speak to Lee, the Manchester City fan, who I am assuming is over the moon with what he has just witnessed at Molineux. Lee, sir, you're live on talkSPORT.
Evening, Rory. How are we?
Very well, sir. Very well. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Yeah, really good. Yeah, even better after that performance today. I thought, City looked back, but back in a different, more kind of direct way, if you like. I thought that all of the new signings today put on a really, really good show, particularly Tierney Reinders. He looks an absolute gem. He looks like he's got the potential to be something special. But also, when we talk about the new signings, I'm almost counting the players that we signed in January last year in there as well, because I don't think we got a proper look at them last season. But they all look like they're all starting to bed in as well. And this squad all of a sudden is starting to look a lot more kind of exciting than maybe we've seen for the last couple of years with City, really. A lot more direct, a lot more kind of trying to break on teams. We saw that today. We did that numerous times. We saw it against Palermo. I know it was only a friendly last week, but they were really, really good. So I'm just really optimistic, actually, that we could be on for a really good season again. And the other thing I was going to say is, if we do manage to move a couple of the players on that we're hoping to move on over this next few weeks and bring Rodrigo in, who's to say that we haven't got as good a squad as Liverpool, 1 to 22 right the way through the squad? Because I don't see anything that they've got that we don't. And I think that would just be a marquee special signing.
Do you know what, Lee?
For the new year.
Do you know a lot of people, and I think Manchester City fans have been slightly irked by this. I think a lot of people, me included, haven't necessarily seen Manchester City as being able to launch a serious, sustained bid for Premier League silverware this year. Not saying that it's going to be drastically bad, just saying that they won't win the league. And I think the rationale for it, and what do you think to this as a reason? The rationale is basically when you move on from a generational talent like Kevin De Bruyne, it's going to take time. You know, it's very difficult. There's always going to be teething problems for whoever follows in that role. And that would be the motivation for saying that it could be a year too early for Man City winning the league.
You know what I would say to that? Man City don't get enough credit for their transfer strategy. So we've been through this cycle already a few times. You know, we've moved on from David Silva and Yaya Toure and those types of players who, everyone's going, how do you replace those? Well, Kevin De Bruyne was ready and waiting. Bernardo Silva was ready and waiting. You know, we had the next region, if you like. And I think last year was a bit of we dropped the ball, I think, because they didn't know what was going to happen with Pep. Cheeky Bergerenstein was coming up to his last year. I don't think they really wanted to invest heavily and drop the ball. But I think what they did in January, and obviously the players they were targeting for this summer, they knew who they wanted. And you can see straight away, it's like almost like, right, this is a different players, but this is City back again. You can just see that swagger about the way they were playing. So,
what do you reckon then, Lee? What do you reckon? Cards on the table time. Cards on the table time. Where do you finish this year?
So I'm going to say, if we get Rodrigo, I think that would be, for me, we're going to win the league. If we don't get Rodrigo and we go with what we've got now, we will certainly be there or thereabouts at the end, but it'll be a 50-50 between us and Liverpool. Arsenal will be brilliant, but they just don't have a track record of getting it done. Us and Liverpool do, so I think it's 50-50, but get Rodrigo through the door. For me, City will shock everybody. We'll be the champions again.
Amazing. It's a fantastic call there from Lee. Thank you so much for getting in touch, Lee. Great to talk to you. Make sure that you give me a ring. 03717 223344. You give me a ring and you could be live on talkSPORT any minute now on the Rory Jennings Show.
Boxing Update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Buy now at dazn.com/boxing.
And tonight, unbeaten rising star Moses Italma takes on the proven and dangerous Dillian Whyte in a heavyweight showdown. Don't miss the action by watching it on DAZN. You can also catch all of the action on talkSPORT from 9. And here's Fight Night's Gareth A. Davis to preview what should be an explosive contest.
Welcome to the venue here in Riyadh. Big night of boxing. We got fights underway already, but about 20 past 12, we've got Moses Italma against Dillian Whyte. Big step up in name and opponent for the young Tyro Moses Italma. Will he become the second fastest heavyweight in boxing history to become a heavyweight world champion? We are seeing that journey tonight, the big part of the journey, the major step up. We're here, we're live from 7:30 p.m. on talkSPORT 2 and from 9 p.m. on talkSPORT 1. Don't miss it tonight, we're here for you.
God, that does look fantastic. And brilliant words there from Gareth A. Davis. And there's live boxing action from Saudi Arabia right now on talkSPORT 2, available via the talkSPORT app. But now we're going to have a look ahead to a huge Sunday in the Premier League, and I really cannot wait for it. Chelsea take on Palace, Nottingham Forest take on Brentford, but the big one really is Manchester United versus Arsenal. Two behemoth clubs, two Goliath clubs going head-to-head for the jugular on what could be, for both teams, a defining opening day of the season. Helping me go through that is none other than the wonderful Luke Henry. Luke, sir, you going to the game?
No, not as it stands, unfortunately. Got let down earlier in the week. So if anyone's got a spare ticket, I'm debating whether to go to Manchester and just chance it.
Hope for the best.
Hope for the best, yeah.
What do you reckon? Look, obviously, you know, you're an Arsenal season ticket holder. It's fair to say, isn't it, that with Liverpool off to a flying start, with Manchester City off to a flying start, the pressure is already on Mikel Arteta before he's even kicked the ball.
Do you know what? It's so funny because a few of us were in on Friday working across the game, and when it went to 2-2, a few of us got a little bit carried away. Liverpool, we go, oh, they go to Newcastle next week. Oh, they go to Arsenal, they play Arsenal the week after, and then within 10 minutes it was 4-2. And we're all looking like a champion's performance again, and that's the beauty of football, and that's why we love it. It's funny, isn't it? Because we have not the greatest record at Old Trafford, so it does feel quite big. It feels like more than 3 points, even though Manchester United are the Manchester United that they are. It still feels like it is a difficult.
It's symbolic. You go and win at Old Trafford.
It feels something more. Yeah, and it feels a lot more. It's going to be an entertaining game. I'm still not quite sure what to expect from Man United because, personally speaking, I feel their main priority is their midfield, and I don't think they've addressed that midfield in this formation that they play under Ruamru. So looking at our midfield, I think we'll get a lot of joy. It's just whether we can control it, take our chances, and also deal with the crowd. Because look, first game of the Premier League season, Old Trafford, Man United are going to be up for it.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a massive game. It's not a free hit, but it's like a new lease of life, right? Forget about last season. Forget the Europa League disappointment in the final for them.
Are you happy with your activity in the transfer window?
Yes, I am, because it's not finished. I do think we need one more. Look, there's been talk about Eberechi going to Tottenham. I've always been in the camp where I think he's a wonderful player. I think he is a number 10, which is apparently the reports. Arsenal view him as a number 10. But I still think we need a left winger. I've always said we need a winger, and I've been quite constant on that since the transfer window's opened. I just feel like without Gabriel Martinelli, I feel like Arsenal do lack a little bit of pace. And obviously Arsenal fans have their opinions on Gabriel Martinelli. We can talk about that at depth. But I just feel like if we want to go that next step and really go over the line, I think I'll just watch Manchester City there then. The likes of, Shirky's just been brought on. Marmoush has just been brought on. I'm looking at Liverpool and I'm looking, they're going to get another forward. If it might be Isak, they need another forward because they need bodies. But you look at Ekitike, you look at Wirtz. I just feel like if we did get a signing, I'm going to use Rodrigo as an example. I know people look at his stats and they're not painting the best picture, but if you just look at the actual player and the performance and what it can lift you as a team. But
you need this. And also, as much as we could talk about what you didn't sign, You brought in Zubimendi, you brought in the centre forward. We've been hearing this talk about Arsenal needing a centre forward. It feels like you're sort of 2.5 years in the making. Yes. You brought in the centre forward that you so desperately needed. That's got to be the difference maker. This is the season, isn't it? Surely.
Well, it makes me laugh because people say that, but then people say that Liverpool are overwhelming favourites. They're going to win the league by 10 points, but at the same time, it's Arsenal have got the number 9. There's no excuses. So I feel like it's funny because, look, throughout the seasons we've had recently, right, it's been trust the process, and Arsenal have been mocked for that. Then, if it wasn't trust the process, it was phases. What phase are we in? And that's been mocked. And now it's like, for me, it's optics. It's almost like, how does it look? Because the question that's going to be asked around Mikel Arteta for the whole season is this trophy discourse.
Sometimes it is just as simple as, football can be a very complex game and we can talk about graphs and Venn diagrams, or it could be really simple. And Mikel Arteta's been in the job for over half a decade.
Yeah, but come on. Let's not do this. Let's really not do this because I struggle to understand that. When he was appointed Arsenal manager, this is his 5th full season, right? This is his 5th full season, and in 3 of those, he's challenging for the title, and he's been close on 2 occasions. If you told an Arsenal fan when he came in that was going to happen, I'm not sure they would have gone, I'd be very happy if that happened. Because of the context and how it's played out, it's been quite disappointing because we haven't got over the line. Well, I even say it's not been disappointing, it's just been quite unlucky that we haven't got over the line. But the fact that
it feels like you're coming in here and you're already sort of setting up Arsenal for another season of what some would deem failure.
Well, I'm not.
And you're saying that it's going to be okay because of where Arsenal were 6 years ago.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we're talking about Arsenal winning the league, but I'm talking about the optics about it because we're not talking about Arsenal winning the league. We're talking about Arsenal winning the trophy as well. Because if he finishes 4th and wins the FA Cup, that's technically a better season than we've just had because apparently we've won a trophy, which is not, because 2nd in a Champions League semi-final would be better than finishing 4th in the FA Cup.
No, it wouldn't. Of course it wouldn't.
So Arsenal. So that's my point. So this is my point. So you're saying that we would have a better season this season if we finish 4th and win the FA Cup. Yet you've just told me that there's no excuse. We have to win the league. It doesn't make. This is what I'm talking about.
But you could have a better season than last year and it still not be good enough.
No, but okay, but is that a good season?
You can improve, but not to the requisite level.
That's my point. So that's improving.
It's not to the requisite level. Winning a League Cup would be more impressive, but it's not to the requisite level. What Arsenal need to do.
Hold on.
What Arsenal need to do they need to launch a serious and sustained bid to win a Premier League title. And Mikel Arteta now, off the back of not winning it last year, when if Man City didn't win it, Arsenal had to. So, after not winning it the year before, when Arsenal were at various points in that year the best team in the country, surely this is the year that he just has to win it, no excuses.
No, I'm not saying there's no excuses, but I'm just understanding your point. So if we finish 4th this season and win the FA Cup, that's an improvement on the season just gone. Right, okay. That's what you've just said to me. That is what you've just said.
Any silverware would be better than no silverware, of course.
Right, okay, so the league position doesn't count. So then how much of the winning the league? I'm just listening to what you're saying. You're telling me that finishing 4th and winning the FA Cup.
What I'm saying, you brought up the domestic silverware thing.
Yeah,
I'm not. That's not. I don't care about.
Yeah, because it's
what Arsenal need. What I believe Arsenal need this year is a league title.
Yeah, and I think Arsenal will win the league title. I'm not coming here to say I don't think we will win it.
It felt already that you were telling me about, like, you know, the Rodrigo signing and how good Shirky looked and what Liverpool have done and how.
No, I'm just saying it's not easy to win the Premier League, right? It's not.
No.
And there's some good teams. You're not just going to walk it. And I'm looking at the teams that are going to be in the title race. It's funny how we've mentioned Liverpool and Manchester City. I haven't brought up your team yet, because I don't think you're good enough to win the Premier League.
No, we're not. I don't think we will.
But I think we are.
I can admit that I don't think we'll win it.
But okay, I can admit that I think my team will win it. I don't know what you. But I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to pay. I'm just giving you this situation. You were the one that said about he's been here 5 years, but he hasn't been here for 5 years to win the Premier League. Expectations change as you grow up, as you grow into the job.
For 5 years.
Yeah, but he wasn't brought in to win us the league from the moment he took the job. I don't know why you can't understand that bit.
No,
he's been a brilliant job.
He's got from why you're saying them.
Because you said because you've used it as a negative way. He's like, he's been here 5 years, like he's been here too long. Well, he hasn't, because he had to build the team from where it was. Well, we were literally we're a mid-table team. Well, we were really, really bad. People forget how bad, and he's changed the whole culture. He's changed the fabric of the team. He's got the players he wanted, and for the last 3 seasons, he's been building the team. And I think he's done a very good job, and now he needs to get over the line. And I think he will get over the line because he's addressed the things that we need. And you asked me, do I think we need one more? I think we need one more attacker. But then this is my point. And he doesn't win it. Well, then that's my point. We'll have the conversation in May because how it looks.
Okay, but that's we're allowed to sort of extrapolate and project an opinion.
Okay, no,
I'm just curious. If he doesn't win it this year, then what?
Yeah, but I'm still not going to answer that, because if he got to the final day again and we finished second and we got to another Champions League semi-final, it would look a very different conversation than if you finished above us, for example, and we finished 15 points behind Liverpool but won the FA Cup. Then we'd have a conversation, because we're like, well, it's not great. That doesn't look, the optics doesn't look.
The thing is, Arsenal haven't kicked a ball yet, though. So if you're only really prepared to talk about the things that have happened, it's difficult at the moment. Well, you're telling me that we can't talk about the what ifs, but Arsenal haven't played yet.
Well, we can talk about the what ifs, but I'm not going to say he should be sacked.
No, I don't,
either way.
You don't have to say he should be sacked. You could say, I think that he could have another year, or it would depend. You could just answer the question.
Well, I think he will have another year. I don't think Mikel Arteta will go anywhere unless it's a really, really poor season, because I think the club are happy. I think the board are happy. Andre Berta has just joined, so he's got a 3-year contract. Arteta signed a new contract as well. So I can't see this conversation. I can't see this actually happening, because he's going to stay no matter what, unless it's a really, really poor season. And obviously the players, we know what we see football every week. We know player power. If you get a big player that wants to leave, then maybe it just looks like the natural end of the project, which I don't think it would be.
That is very interesting. Look, we're going to bring in and welcome in now Lewis, a Manchester United fan, into this conversation. Lewis, you looking forward to the game tomorrow?
Evening, fellas. Yes. You got to start a new season off with some hope. We've strengthened up the top. We needed more goals added to the team. That's where we really struggled last season. So I'm happy with the forward signings, but we haven't addressed the midfield and the defence and the goalkeeper. So that, for me, is still going to be our hindrance for the season in terms of where we're going to finish. I think some people got a bit carried away, including some pundits at talkSPORT, predicting fourth or around about fourth spot for United. They're obviously forgetting how bad our defence and our goalkeeper situation is.
What do you think, then, Lewis?
I think we'll be top half this season, but I don't think we'll make Europa League spots, Rory. I think we're looking at around 8th to 10th, something like that.
Right, not too optimistic then. Do you think you'll beat Arsenal opening day? Is there a world where Old Trafford is just a bit of a fortress, it's buzzing with a euphoria of a new season, and you welcome Arsenal, always a big game?
Yeah, I mean, look, it wasn't a fortress last season, was it? It hasn't been for many years now. Anyone can beat us at Old Trafford nowadays. But on our day, we did okay last season in the big games. We lost a few, but we did win a few. So on our day, of course, United can still turn out a good performance and beat Arsenal. Of course we can. But more realistically, Arsenal are a much better side than us. I still think we'll draw at best tomorrow.
I think a potential draw. I'm going to ask our Arsenal fan who's still in the studio, Luke. We've had a prediction there from a Manchester United fan suggesting that it'll be a draw. What do you think for tomorrow? What's your prediction?
Oh, I could see that. I think Arsenal will win 2-1. And, Lewis is right, because the last time I was at the game last season, and people forget that Man United should have won that game. They were better than us in the second half. And if it wasn't for David Raya, we would have lost that game. And, probably deserved so. So it's always a tough game. Just like I said, I always think there's still a worry with Manchester United in their midfield. And also don't know who they're going to line up with at the back. I think there's some injury issues there. I do think we'd have too much. We look more settled. We look more ready. So I do think that we'll win. But like I said, it's Old Trafford. It's still going to be a tough game. So I'm not going to be saying it's going to be a 3-0. Because I think it'll be 2-1. I know. I think we'll keep a clean sheet. I think it'll be 1-0, actually.
1-0 Arsenal, Luke. What do you reckon to that, Lewis?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the Arsenal are the favourites for the game. Absolutely, 2-1 wouldn't surprise me at all. I just think Amorim, for me, I've still got a big question mark on him, Rory. I don't think he had a shocking 6 months for me, where we finished in the league, and he couldn't have got his tactics more wrong and his team line up for that Europa League golden chance final, to get back in the Champions League. Blew it big time for me. Big question mark. If we have a poor start to the season, because we've got a really hard run in, the first 7 or 8 games are really tough if you have a look at it. If we're like floundering nowhere after the first couple of months of the season, he's going to have huge pressure on him. And you never know, he could be gone by Christmas.
Yeah, really, I mean, people start the memories of what happened in Bilbao will certainly come up soon. And that was a great call there from Lewis, and a huge thank you there to Luke Henry. It's going to be a pulsating clash, and I really am looking forward to it as Manchester United take on Arsenal. And now there is some breaking news that is just coming into us. Brentford complete the signing of Django Quatera from Bournemouth for £42 million. And remember, you can hear all the goals as they go in on our brilliant YouTube goal show tomorrow from 2. And then Majestic and former Newcastle and West Ham boss Alan Pardew are taking your calls from 6:30 right here on talkSPORT. But for now, keep your calls coming into us. 03717 223344 to air your views on the Rory Jennings show on talkSPORT. Now, the NFL returns to Wembley in October as the LA Rams take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we have a huge competition to win VIP tickets. That's right, we're giving you the chance to win 6 seats in a private box at Wembley Stadium with full hospitality, plus $5,000 spending money. Here's how to enter.
£2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission or enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by 25th August at 11 p.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. See talksport.com for terms and conditions.
Now, before we get back to your calls, let's hear from a couple of Premier League managers about their games this afternoon. Speaking after Manchester City's 4-0 victory over Wolves, Pep Guardiola had nothing but praise for his new signing, Tijani Reinders.
Yeah, a lot, but not just today. So Palermo played really good. He's a typical player that we will need in the Premier League. Is perfect, and it's an incredible good sign for us. Work ethic, with holding midfielders, occupying a lot of spaces, and after with control with the ball, his movements especially in behind, is like to attack a lot of space, score goals. So I'm really pleased.
I mean, he's absolutely right. It was a sensational performance from Reinders, and he really does look a player. Aston Villa started the day by drawing 0-0 with Newcastle, and here's Sam Matterface speaking to Villa manager Unai Emery, who wasn't happy with the questions he was being asked.
Talk to me about that first 45 minutes, because it looked as if Newcastle were on top and creating a lot of chances. What did you put that down to?
A lot of chances, yes.
3 or 4 chances?
3 or 4, yes. It depends how you are, how is your opinion about the chances.
Well, they had 8 shots and at least 2 on target.
I remember 2. Okay, it's good, they play good, yes.
Did you think your team started well?
The first half. Do you want my analysis, or you are going to do analysis?
No, I'm asking you to explain to me.
You are doing the analysis. You are not asking me for my analysis.
Okay, so
you are doing your analysis, and you are not making question for me.
Okay, so what would you like to say about your team's performance? Because after a tough first half, were you happy with the way that they performed in the second?
Okay, I'm going to answer now. Okay, but my opinion, not yours. The first half they played better than us. We weren't dominating the match like we planned. The second half, we started the first 50 minutes completely different. But after the red card, the match changed completely, and we needed defensively to get the commitment had the players to do. And at the end, we draw, and of course, we had to accept it.
An awkward exchange there. Unai Emery clearly feeling very frustrated after that draw that he had. We also spoke to Marco Silva, the Fulham manager, who was speaking after his side's 1-1 draw with Brighton. He criticised his club's lack of business in the transfer window. Here's what he had to say.
I like shopping, but I like to go shopping with my family, with my daughters as well. It's not for me to go to the shopping the market. The club should do it. We have a plan, clear plan, last March, April and May, that we all agree that is going to be the solution for Fulham to keep progressing. Until now, the plan didn't go through. That is clear from me. I'm not saying too slow, but we are not active at all in that aspect of the game. And this afternoon just showed to us the guys, they did fantastic, the fighting spirit, but we are very short in certain positions in terms of numbers too, and we need to strengthen our squad. Yes or yes, I think we don't have other chance. Premier League, the most difficult and the best competition in the world. If you think that you can stand still, the other teams, they are going to overtake you for sure. And it's simple as that. If you don't want that, you have to move quick.
Very interesting words there from Marco Silva. Now we're going to go straight back to the phone lines. We're going to speak to Kieran, a Burnley fan. How are you, Kieran? You're live on talkSPORT.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Yeah, very
well. Do you mind me just reflecting very quickly on a couple of quick things? I've just been listening. I've been on the Wi for a while now.
Yeah.
First of all, it's the first day of the season. I was listening to the exchange between the Manchester United and Arsenal supporters, and they were making assumptions about how the season was going to turn out. Can I just remind all the Arsenal supporters, it was only not even 2 seasons, Neil, since everyone was saying Arteta out and all this sort of thing because they were down the table. then they'd come on leaps and bounds with Arteta. The problem for Arteta and Arsenal is they've got an excellent Manchester City team who are very difficult for anybody to beat. That's the first point I'd make. The second point I'd make about what I've been just listening to, and I better be careful here, Neil, you can laugh at my expense. I'm a Burnley supporter who works at the University of Sunderland, so I better be nice what I say about Sunderland supporters. But I mean, I was delighted for them today, absolutely thrilled that they won. But I do remember this time last year, I was actually at the ground when they beat us 1-0 in the Championship. And everyone said, "Oh yeah, Sunderland walking away with it. Burnley might struggle to make it into it." We came up as runners-up, and they fell away very badly in the run into the end of the season. And yes, they got in the playoffs, and they deserved to win the playoff final. No argument. My point is this: it's very early to start making extrapolations about what's going to happen. In 37 games' time?
Yeah.
But the point I rang in earlier about was very quickly, one, I don't know which game your colleagues were watching this afternoon. Yes, Tottenham beat us in the end 3-0, and the second goal effectively killed us off. But we had our moments, and we were more than in it during that game this afternoon. And is it your colleague Adrian Durham?
Yes.
He was talking about, the Burnley transfer. Well, you can't make a player stay if he doesn't want to stay. Egan Riley, who I actually think is not as good a player as Esteve, who has stayed with us, wanted to leave and he's gone to Marseille. Josh Brownhill didn't want to sign up a new contract. And Trafford was subject to a buyback clause in the Manchester City contract when we bought him in the first place. So I think Adrian might want to reflect before he starts making rash statements, Burnley's transfer policy is difficult to understand. Well, he has to look at the details of each transaction and so on. We have 5 good players yet to come into the Burnley squad. Am I saying we're going to stay up? I don't know. It's going to be a hell of a struggle. Don't get me wrong. But I really think to predict the season on one day's football, is
I think anybody that's doing that, though, anybody that is predicting the season. So, for example, when people are talking about Arsenal winning the league, they aren't basing it on this season. They're basing it on sort of the 5 years under Arteta. They're saying that the pressure is on Arteta and he therefore needs to win the league now. I think people are saying Man City win the league, not because of what they've seen today, but because of the brilliance of Guardiola over the past decade and a half.
But that you just made my point. It's very difficult for Arsenal to muscle in on City, who, are doing so well. But the other point I make very quickly for you is this: it's very difficult for promoted teams like ourselves, to bridge that. It's no longer a gap, Neil, between the Championship and the Premier League. It's a chasm. And that's because of the finances. I mean, I saw that Jack Grealish has moved to Everton, and good luck to him. I like him. But he's on 300,000 quid a week. I don't care how good a player is. That's not sustainable.
But do you think that the chasm, as you refer to it, do you think that the chasm is shrinking a touch? Can you see any of the promoted teams, yourselves included, potentially surviving this season?
To be honest with you, my friend, I think it would be defying the odds if any of us stay up. I'd be delighted if we did. But my point is this: the top 6 or 8 teams keep getting all the Premier League money, and then also on top of that, the European Champions League money. And it's very difficult to bridge that gap, and so on. But the last point I make, and thank you very much for having me on, the last point I make is that the one salutary thing, warning I give all the big clubs is this: that they're going to be very careful, because the Premier League financial model is under pressure, and it could collapse in on itself because of these ridiculous salaries. De Bruyne, brilliant player, but is he worth £375,000 a week? I don't know about that, and that's not sustainable. Look at Real Madrid very quickly. Can you tell me what their wage bill was last season?
I couldn't, Kieran.
Yeah, well, there you go. It was 750 million quid.
Right.
Not short, too far off $1 billion.
Nearly $1
How
billion
sustainable is that? It's insanity. So I'm asking for all the clubs' sakes that maybe we pull back a little bit, because there's a bubble building in the Premier League. And no offence to Sky Sports and all these other people, but it's now saturation coverage. When I'm old enough to remember when they first started showing matches on TV, the bar was silent, everyone was agog. Now it's background noise.
I know what you mean, Kieran. And do you know what, Kieran? I'm disappointed that you were our final caller today, because that was a very intelligent and astute call. And I thank you so much for making it. A great time to speak to you, Kieran. And I was really interested in what you had to say there. But sadly, that is all we have time for from me tonight. And as always, thank you to everyone for calling into the show. I really do appreciate it. I will be back at 7:30 next week, taking more of your calls after a huge day of Premier League action. But coming up next, we are heading to Saudi Arabia for a fight night, as unbeaten Moses Itauma takes on Dillian White in a heavyweight showdown. And next on Fight Night, next on talkSPORT, it's Fight Night Live.